religion, God, angels, the devil, Satan. All these things talk about religion or are involved in religion. As of starting this recording, it's 2:48 a.m. and I'm going to talk about religion. So if you think if this is a touchy subject for you, you should probably go. Because I'm going to be straight up honest with how I feel about it. So just to preface this, I have gone to a Catholic school or a Catholic middle school. I go to a Jesuit high school now. So I'm very seasoned in the knowledge of religion, Roman Catholic theology, I guess I should say, is what I'm most seasoned in. So I don't know about the Muslim culture or about the Jewish culture, but I can tell you about Jesus and about God and about hell and heaven. I can tell you all about that. I can even tell you about the history, but I'm not. What we're going to talk about today, and also I want to just quickly apologize for my hair. I don't really know what's happening with it, but I'm just going to let it go because this right here took about like 10 minutes of just doing that over and over to try and fix it. It was more like this about like 10 minutes ago. But we're just going to jump in. So just to start off, everyone, or not everyone, but most people know the stories, the common stories about God, or Adam and Eve, the story of creation, the 7 days that it took to create the world. But again, we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about God, and can you really believe in God? Now, again, I'm not saying I don't believe in God, even though I don't. I'm not, that's not the point I'm trying to get across. What I'm trying to get across is if you do believe in God, and I'm just curious, so if you do watch this and you would like to leave a comment, tell me why you believe in God. Sorry, I heard like thunder or something. But why do you believe in God? Or what kind of God do you believe in? Or do you believe in it because you were raised like that? Do you believe in it because you've had a vision of God? And I'm just going to talk about my upbringing in terms of God, and I guess you could just compare it to your own. So, from a young age, I didn't really believe in God. I didn't really. It was more like I couldn't see him, and I didn't understand what faith was. I didn't understand the idea of believing something that wasn't there. It would be like, because at a very young age, I didn't believe in Santa, because I knew, I was like, there's something up. And I remember I stayed up, and as a kid, if you stayed up till 3 o'clock, that was like that was for me a big moment in my life. So I'm like, I'm kind of falling asleep, but I notice that I hear something. So I got up and I went down the stairs and just kind of peeked like over the railing, and I saw my mom and my dad like wrapping the presents, and they were looking around like trying to be cautious, and that, I mean, it kind of ruined it for me. But I kind of just acted like I knew what Christmas was after that. But in all honesty, I after that didn't really believe in Christmas anymore. But I just kind of gave into it. And the reason why I told you that story is because that's kind of how I was with God. Going to a Catholic school as a child, you're expected to believe in God, and you're expected to you're expected to kind of pray to God, and I did. I didn't really know who I was praying to or what I was praying about, but I prayed to someone or something, mainly because I had to. Like right now, I'm not required to pray to God. I don't believe in God. I don't think that the world we're in right now has a God, because if we had a God, I don't think things would be going on the way they are. And I guess that's that. I mean, there's a lot more that I like to touch upon, but that's kind of the base that I wanted to set, kind of like why I don't believe in God. Excuse that voice crack. That's why I don't believe in God. And like, I don't care who believes in God. I don't care if people know I don't believe in God. Also, I want to point out I'm sick right now. So that's mainly why my voice is doing that. I mean, I'm already 5 minutes in, so I'm just going to keep recording. But God is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. It's something that many people get upset over. It's something that people don't take a no for an answer. So in terms of me not believing in God, I don't tell a lot of people that because it upsets them. And I don't want to upset people, which is mainly why I don't like vocalize it. I want people to know. But at the same time, I don't think it's okay to force religion on children, I guess. Because having an upbringing in a Catholic school, I felt that if I didn't believe in God, I was an outcast. And that's sometimes how I felt. I felt like, I mean, I had a friend who was openly atheist at my Catholic school, and that's obviously a problem. And I want to point out, just starting off, it's his fault that he went to a Catholic school as an atheist. But it's not his fault that he is an atheist. And he was not really punished for it, but no one really, like teachers try to just plow into his head that he needs to believe in God. And I don't think that's how it should be. I don't think it should be a form of punishment if you don't believe in God. I think it should be convincing people to believe in God. And with a lot of the things going on lately, I feel that people are losing their sense of, if you are Christian, or if you are Catholic, or if you are Muslim, or if you are I don't know any other religions off the top of my head. It's fine if you believe in your religion, okay? But don't force it on other people, because it makes us uncomfortable, I guess. And like, I believe in a higher power. Like, it's weird because I don't believe in God, but I feel like I'm very religious. I pray to something or someone, but I don't believe in some higher power, like one higher power. I believe in more of multiple gods, kind of. I don't think one God can govern the whole world. I just don't think that's possible. I don't think it's humanly possible, which may be a problem because obviously God's not human, so putting it into a standard of humanism, that's not really correct. But at the same time, it's really hard for me to comprehend. There's billions of people on this world, and there's billions of animals and billions of things going on, and to have one God who's supposed to be able to answer everyone's prayers, I don't think that's possible. So to me, I believe in more like Greek mythology, and I don't really believe in specifically Greek mythology. Like, I don't believe in well, this is Greek mythology, but like Danu is an Egyptian god, or I don't know any other like Zeus, or like Thanos, who's a demigod. I don't believe in that. But I believe there's a god that like governs the ocean, you know? Like, I'm not saying like Aquaman. I'm not saying there's like a god swimming around. I mean, like, to me there has to be a god that gods have their like areas, if that makes sense. Like, one god watches land and one god watches water. But my point being in saying all this, that I should be entitled to believing in what I believe. And I don't think a lot of schools allow that. And in all honesty, it isn't just schools. I mean, I think a lot of people, a lot of religions aren't open to that. They're not open to different interpretations of it, I guess. And I don't think that's okay. I mean, the school I go to is very open, and I appreciate that. And that's one reason why I've become more religious, is because I don't feel like persecuted for believing what I want to believe in. But I just see it everywhere, and I hear from friends and family and just people all around the globe that it's not fair. I mean, you even see, and I live in the United States, so I'm very lucky to have that freedom. But you have people in like Eastern Asia, just off the top of my head, I think, that are punished for what they believe in. And obviously not a lot of people believe in being punished for that, but it sometimes sucks because I physically can't do anything. As a 17-year-old living in Phoenix, Arizona, there's nothing I can really do. And you could say, oh, you can donate, you could do this or that. But being part of the middle class, there's not much I can do. I don't have the I don't have the ability to donate money. I don't have the time to go, or the means of going to feed my starving children or something. And I'm not saying that that's about God. I'm just saying in terms of giving service to other people, I don't think I'm not as set to do it. But that's besides the point. What I'm trying to get at is that religion is such a touchy subject, and I think people need to talk more about it rather than kind of pushing it aside. It's like, oh, this is the weird topic. We probably shouldn't talk about this. I think it should be more openly talked about. And even in schools, at my middle school, we would be in religion class and we'd be learning. And if you asked a question that wasn't Catholic enough, I guess, or if you were questioning the religion, it wasn't a question answer. It was a question, and then you were yelled at. You were not really yelled at. That's not the right word, but your question wasn't answered. It was more of, that's not a good question. They're like, oh, well, you should be asking this, and it's like, no, that wasn't my question because I don't quite understand. Because it's not going to appeal to everyone. For me, Catholicism or Catholicism doesn't appeal to me. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to who I am and how I live, and I think that should be okay. But in a lot of cases, it's not, and I think that's a problem. I don't have any solutions at the moment, but this is just something I wanted to touch upon, kind of question whoever's watching this. Do you accept all religions? Do you allow people to believe in what they want to believe openly? Or are you forcing people to hide their religion or fake it? Just like me, I had to fake believing in the Almighty God. And it just makes things uncomfortable. If that makes sense. I don't think it doesn't really hurt you. I'm not being killed for believing in my own religion, but it still makes it makes you not open. And I guess one thing I don't get is, because I grew up knowing about Catholicism, it's supposed to be open. It's supposed to be love thy neighbor as thyself. Stuff like that. But people don't live up to that standard. Or some people, not all people, but a lot of people don't follow the laws that they say they're endowed to. And it's kind of messed up. And you see that everywhere. You see that with the marriages, you see that with dating, you see that with, literally everything, everywhere. People say one thing and do another. It's just how it works. And I don't know why. I'm not going to try and act like I do know why, because I don't. But it's just a problem, and I think it needs to be addressed more. Again, I'm not solving it, I'm addressing it. And I think that's important. But religion is just, there's so many religions out there. There's bad religions, if you want to call them that, Satanism, or I don't know, there's a belief of following death itself, which isn't in and of itself terrible, but once that starts impacting other people, that's a problem. So I think as long as somebody's not hurting you with their religion, I think you should back off and let them do as they please. Because they're not hurting you, and if they're not hurting you, you shouldn't hurt them back. That's just my ideology. If they are not condemning you or hurting you, don't hurt them back. Because that, no matter what religion you have, all religions have to have some sort of equality. Well, not all. I know there's some weird religions out there, but most normal religions, I mean, that's kind of disrespectful, but like normal religions or like the common religions, most of them have equality. But that seems to be the one law that we all forget. And it's sad. It's just sad. So just love everyone around you and don't persecute them because they don't believe in something you believe in. Because just think about if they did the same thing back to you, how would you feel? And yeah. I think that's all. Not really more. I mean, there's a lot more I want to say, but I don't think a lot of it is appropriate for what this video turned out to be. And I just don't really want to piss people off. Talking about why I don't believe in God, and I'm not really trying to convince you not to, but I'm just trying to say, be open with your religion, as long as it's safe, of course, and just love yourself. Just love yourself, love everyone around you, and the world would be so much better if that's how things worked. But you have some people who don't do that. So just love yourself, love people around you as much as you can. Don't hurt people you're close to. Just don't hurt people, period, I should say. I mean, I have lots of experience at even being at a very young age. I have a lot of experience with families hurting each other, families hurting other families, cases of one person bullying another, and that person taking it to the extreme, and then you get on the topic of suicide and school shootings, and there's so many things that bullying goes against the religious ideology of love thy neighbor as thyself, or whatever you call it in your religion. It goes against it. Straight up. There's no going around it. That's just how it is. That's like bullying is wrong. Suicide is wrong. I understand the idea. I understand how some people get driven to that point, but taking your own life, something that's so sacred, is, I don't know, it's just, don't. Is the best way I can explain that. Just don't. And if you think that you aren't loved, you are. Because I've been through things in my life where you feel like no one loves you. You feel trapped. You feel like, and all tomorrow's video, if I do one like this, I'll cover suicide and depression. Because as someone I feel like I've been through that before, or something close to that. Like, I've never thought about suicide, but it does cross your mind sometimes. It does. Just sometimes you're sitting there and you're just, I wonder what would happen. Would anyone care if, and then insert whatever you would do. Like, everyone has that, but just don't. And it sounds hard, but if you're sitting in the bathroom and you're just thinking about it, just don't. Just don't. Because people love you. And it's selfish. People love you, and if you do that, you're putting your pain on them. You say you love them and then force all this onto them. And I'm not trying to guilt trip you, but just don't. Because people like me, and there's so many people around the globe that love you and will care for you. There's not one person in the world who's not loved. Besides maybe like Hitler or something. But again, besides the point, I keep going off track. Just love yourself. Just love yourself. Love the people around you. I think I said this in the last video. And the world would spin happier. I guess. But yeah. Thank you for watching the video. And I'll see you guys next time.